Welcome back to the Unapologetic podcast and happy New Year. Happy 2026. All right. And I have such a good episode for today. It's so perfect for like beginning of the year because I know we're all thinking about, New Year things, goals, all of the New Year stuff. And in general, I have a lot of thoughts about that. But today we are going to talk about New Year New Year goals. New Year revenue goals. Can I talk? How long have I not podcasted for that now I can't talk all of a sudden? So, what I really want to talk about is revenue goals for 2026. This is obviously a huge thing that we're thinking about, right? We're setting those goals right now. And whether, like, there's a million ways that you can make $1 million. And online, everyone has the answer, right? Everyone has some kind of answer as to this is the way that you can make however much money. And whether you actually want to make $1 million or not isn't really relevant. All of this applies regardless of how much you want to make. Something I've always believed is you get to choose how much you want to make, whether it's millions, whether it's six figures, like whatever the number is for you. You get to choose that. That's a personal decision. We all have our own reasons for wanting to make what we want to make. We all have our own goals, and you get to decide what yours is. This isn't, I know there's a lot of like, I don't know, there's just a lot around that. And I'm also going to say, I do want to talk about today, both the practical side of like, how do you make the money, but also the unapologetic, like going after the amount you do actually want. Because I do think that we hold ourselves back from what we do actually want, even if it's not millions. I have heard this so many times. I've talked to friends about this, and they'll be like, oh no, I'm fine with what I'm making now. But then it comes out and they're like, actually, I actually want to make more. But it's almost this thing where it's like they feel bad about admitting it. And there's no reason to. But I think that there's a number of reasons why we kind of get into this. And I want you to ask yourself, like, if you truly weren't holding back, like, what do you want? There is a number there, but so often we're like, yeah, that would be nice, but. And then we think about all of the reasons why it could never happen, or it could never happen for us. You could never be the one that could happen for. And we tell ourselves, it'll never happen. I can't be that delusional. Or that's like delusional for me to think that it could happen for me. Like, can I actually make that much and not be scamming people? That's something that I've thought about many times. And the answer to that is yes, you don't have to scam people to make a lot of money. But there are people that scam people and make a lot of money. So it's just kind of that whole mind fuck. But no, you can make money and be a good person. You can. It's what you get to decide, right? Like just because you make money doesn't inherently make you a bad person. You get to decide. We just see a lot of bad people making a lot of money right now. So decide not to be a bad person and make money is basically what I'm saying. Another thing that I hear, it'll be too hard because there is a lot that comes with it, and it really depends how much you want, what you want your business to look like. There's so many different things that go into it, but it depends. But our mind goes right away to, oh, it'll be too hard. Or I don't see how I could actually do that, like the true pathway of getting there. So we're like, no, can't happen. And so in this first episode of the year, I want you to drop that. We're dropping this shit. This is the unapologetic energy that we are going into 2026 with. We're dropping that. We're going to get into unapologetic energy and just say, fuck that shit. Something that I love saying. Because, yeah, it can happen. It 1000% can happen. You see what's happening in the world? Like, yeah, it can happen. And I really don't mean this in a like, ooh, just manifest it. Yes, there's like some of that you do have to believe that it will happen. Or, I feel like there's this part where if you don't have that belief, you're also not going to follow through on the things that you need to do to actually make it happen. There's like that sort of thing there. But I don't mean in just like manifest and it'll fall from the sky. No, that's not how it's going to happen. But that's also why I'm going to walk through like some of the practicality of this and really things that you can look at when you are thinking about, okay, so what is my unapologetic number? What is that fuck that shit number that I actually want? But first, we have to acknowledge and get to the part where you can actually believe that you can do it or borrow the belief that you can do it until you can fully believe on your own that you can and that this is possible for you. Because why would it not be? Truly, like, why would it not be? There's no real, true, logical reason why not you, right? I think that there is, though, still a lot of reasons why it's hard for women to go there. There's so much conditioning that we have around this. It's not something that comes natural for us. It's only been in more recent years that more women are actually going after what they truly want. And we've been told and taught for years that it's men that make money. That's been like, that has been the society messaging. And if we get right down to it, women are supposed to be in the home. They're supposed to be caring for kids, and there's a lot of this that we've definitely broke free from. And there's a whole lot of it that's coming back in societal messaging, which is disgusting. It's just a fucking weird time with all of that. But that doesn't mean that we have to believe it, right? It doesn't it doesn't necessarily help, but you don't have to get sucked into that shit because the thing is it's not true. And we can look at women that have made this possible for themselves and know that it absolutely 1000% can be true. I mean, I even look at the things that I've done in my life, and years ago, like, there's no way that women would do this, or I hate saying like would be allowed to, but it's almost like that. But I really did take the, you know, take that like whole unapologetic, like, fuck that shit. This is what I want. And so that's what I'm going to do energy and just fucking did it. And so not only did I get my psychology degree, I then, well, a few years after that, got divorced, got my nursing degree on my own, then decided to open my first business, open my second business, and now full time in my second business, no longer nursing. And I, I don't listen to this bullshit because we don't have to. We don't have to play into it. It's really choosing that that's not going to be your story. And we don't have to, as women, play into that. We can go after what we want unapologetically. That's why I fucking named the podcast this, was to be unapologetic about what we want, right? And, I think it's also this whole pursuing a non-traditional career on top of the money aspect. That can be really hard too. But things have fucking changed. And I think there's also like, even if some people in society don't want to catch up with it, too bad. Too bad for them. We don't have to wait for other people's thoughts, whatever, to catch up to what we want to do in our lives. And the third one that I see coming up a lot is going against what you may have been told you should do with your life. And that's one that there is sometimes a lot of struggle with as well, that can cause people to kind of hold back and feel kind of like an internal struggle. And it does hold you back somewhat. And it's like we need to break free from these things, and it's all part of that conditioning. But it's breaking free from these things and just saying, like, no, I'm going after what I want. This is what it is, naming it. So in this case, your unapologetic revenue goal, and fucking doing it. So now, especially more than ever, it is time to say, fuck that shit. Be unapologetic about what you really want and go after it. Period. The end. So we are going to get into all of that unapologetic energy. That's going to be like that part of it. And then, of course, the practical side, because we have to have that to go along with it. Because there's things, obviously, we still have to take action. We can't just be in the energy of it, but it is a big part of it. And you can see how, like, if you really get into that, things shift, right? But the practical side of it is, the actions that you are going to take when you're in that energy that are going to take you to the goals that you have, that you really want to reach. So, this does not mean like hustling to get there. As I always say, I 100% don't believe in that. Like, I fucking don't believe in hustling to get to your goals. You you can make millions without hustling. It's just dependent on how you actually set up your business. You can also make millions by hustling, but it depends on how you set up your business. So it just, you have to really think this through and look at these pieces in order to actually do it in the way that you want to do it. So there's a few practical things to look here, and depending on what you want to make, there's two big ones that I want to look at. So, is it possible for you currently? Is the first one. That's obviously really important. So, when you think about your unapologetic revenue goal, is that something that you are like really stretching to? You're not like, you don't see the pathway there. What the things that you really want to look at are your capacity for clients, your business model that you have right now, the hours that you can work. So, and you need to include both client hours and working on your business. This is why that whole like, oh, this pisses me off so much. When people are like, oh, just do the math. And if you have 10 people in $1,000 program, then you make $10,000, you know, per month working only 10 hours. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you still need to run your business. Even if you have team working for you, you still have to manage the team. It's not that. Like this, oh, it drives me insane. So do the math properly because that math doesn't math. That's not the math. You have to actually look at the hours needed to run your business plus the hours that you're working with clients to total like your total hours. And then look at, are you going to be able to hit the goal that you're wanting to hit when you look at what your prices are also set at right now? Some people, who knows, maybe you will because you're not at capacity right now for clients. For some people, you might have to adjust things. And this is a basic overview. I'm not going to go into all the things because we would be here for a very long time. Now, we can obviously discuss this together. You can always book a free strategy session and we can go through this in like a lot of detail for you, but this is the basic overview. Can you do it right now with what you are doing right now, with how your business is set up right now? And if you can't, it doesn't mean that it's not possible. That doesn't mean that, like, oh, well, I can never do this. No, it just means looking at what needs to be tweaked. If there are trade-offs that needs to be made, like it's really getting into, there's a number of different things that, need to be really looked at because there's so many ways that you can tweak things, add on things, free up time, do a shit ton of different things in order to increase your capacity for more clients. You may have room to increase your prices so that that adds on more revenue. Like there's so many different ways that you can do it, but with that basic overview, where does that get you? If you are at your top level capacity, that's what you need to think about right now. Then, how do you do it? What's the strategy behind this? Like, how do you actually get there? How do you get leads in? How do you make sales? How do you convert these leads? This is the question everyone wants to give you kind of a concrete answer to, give you their like 5-step blueprint, blah, 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 that worked for them. Problem with that, they aren't you. They aren't you. No one, no one has the same business except for those people that are doing like I don't know. I don't even want to call it digital marketing because like it's not. But you know what I'm saying when I say that. Like those businesses where they just like buy the shit and then they sell the same shit? Those people have the same businesses. But like if you run a real business, nobody has the same business. No one. We are all different individual people. We all run things different. We all have different hours, like all different. I have clients who are in the exact same industry because most of my clients are fitness clients, and not a single one of them, not a single one, have businesses that are set up the same. None. Absolutely not one. And that's fine. And like some are similar, whatever, but none are going to be identical. That's why these, like, just plug in my blah, blah, blah does not work because you can't just like plug in someone else's thing for your business. If truly for business, it has to be customized to you, the way that you want to work with clients, the way that you want to generate leads, the like so many things are going to be customized and personal to you. And the how truly comes from looking at what works specifically for your business, repeating that, and then focusing on that rather than going off on tangents and trying new strategies. It's like those three things. And it sounds way too simple, but it's also why it's hard for a lot of people. And I mean, it's hard for me. Even it's hard, I think, for everyone, truly, because we always get the feeling that there's something else better out there. There's got to be something. And we're inundated with this shit that's like, this is faster and like this fancy thing, blah, blah, whatever. But no, it is just doing what works for your business, focusing on that and repeating it. That's what is going to work for you, truly, and like doubling down so hard on it. That's what's going to work. It just sounds so simple, but that's truly what it is. And one thing that I do have that will help you immensely in mapping this out is my free 2026 revenue planner. No, it's not a blueprint. This is something that I do free every single year, and you can use it to customize to your business. So, this is something that you use to plan out what you are going to do in your business. The point of it is so that you can have a clear plan and a clear pathway to get to your unapologetic revenue goal. And you can see what you need to focus on. It's literally, I've used this for 5, 6 years. I can't remember, a very long time. And I've used it with all my clients. Like, I absolutely swear by this. It just keeps everything so organized, shows you, you can go back, look at what your goals are, look at what you need to focus on. It just kind of gives you that reset and reminder of, okay, that's what, you know, I need to do to get where I want to go. And so I'll just like give you a basic idea of it. When you open it, it is in Asana. You only need a free account, so don't worry that you like need to pay for it. It's free. Free Asana. So it'll pop up. You literally start at the like start here and it walks you through how to fill it out, the whole thing, and customize it to you. It's not like do this and do that and you had no. It's like customized to your business. I do give you suggestions and like examples of different things to consider in relation to your business, but it's nothing that's like, if you don't do this, you're going to miss out. No, I have no idea because I don't know what your business is, right? It's like really drilling down and getting focused on what you need to do, though, to get to your goal. And there's like just tons of examples when you want to take time off, different things that you wouldn't maybe normally think about, because I see this come up so often with clients, with different people. Like I said, when you want to take time off, this one comes up a lot. I see this happen. And a good friend of mine had this happen. And it was one of the first years she was actually in business and she planned to launch at the same time. She was taking a bunch of time off and she had literally the worst time. She hated her life, hated the vacation that they went on. And it's because she didn't really plan it ahead of time. It just kind of like all came up at once. And then it was like, oh shit, I have to launch, but I'm also gone. And now what do I do? Because I can't redo this and like push it off. Instead, you're looking at this, and this is how like businesses should be planned out. You look at it and look at, okay, so what do you want to do for the year? Because this is also the way that you make this sustainable. You make this work for your life. So what do you want to do? Look at when, if you have holidays, if you have days off, if you have whatever, put that in. Then you can plan around those times so that it's not running into that. And it makes sense and you can still hit your goals and you can still have your time off, right? You can work all of it in together and you can really like plan ahead for those times. So there's that. There's like when you have promotional periods, when, you know, for fitness, for example, we know that New Year's is the big thing, which there are a lot of opinions on that. I should do like a whole podcast on that because there are so many things also related to business. So I should do an episode on that. But that's a huge promotional period, right? And there are different times like that throughout the year. So it's just remembering to take advantage of those times because those are the times that you're going to make more sales. So add that in instead of like having that oh shit moment when it comes up and it's almost too close and then you're scrambling and you're like, fuck, what am I going to do now? And you kind of throw something out there. Instead, you can be planning for this like in 2026. You can be planning for 2027, the new year, in November, right? And you can have everything planned in advance. Then through the holidays, you get to relax. Everything's planned. You get to come back, do your promotion, get your clients in. You're good. So it's thinking about things like that. I also go through, and this is something that I swear by, absolutely love, and I think is huge for reaching your goals, no matter what they are, whether this is revenue, whether this is like you want to grow your Instagram account, whether this is like growing your email list, whatever. Breaking down your goals month by month and having a monthly goal rather than staring at the huge end goal, because that is such a mind fuck. Like I could think about, I want to make whatever this year and just focus on that. But that is so huge that thinking about that in January, like, I don't want to be thinking about that number right now. Like, yes, it's in the back of my head, but I'm not making that by the end of January. I mean, that would be amazing, but I'm likely not. That I'm not. I am not. My business is not set up. I know from doing the last thing with the capacity and all of that. My business is not set up to make that amount by the end of January. So breaking it down, and I have this all laid out, breaking it down month by month. You have your goal and also you have the focus, which is another huge one. And this is the part I find most people miss is this focus because you usually just have the goal and you're like, yes, I'm just going to hit the goal. Well, what do you need to focus on to hit the goal? And how do you stay focused on the thing that you need to in order to hit that goal instead of going off on a million other things that come up? You stay focused on what you need to actually hit the goal, and you're going to hit your goals every single month because you know exactly what you need to focus on instead of going off on all of these other tangents. And then it comes to the end of the month and you're like, well, why the fuck did I hit my goal? Well, because of the 12 other tangents that you took. So instead, we identify what you need to focus on related to your goal so that you can hit it. So all of that is in there. So go grab it from the link, grab a coffee, sit down, go through it, add in what makes sense for your business, customize this to you. That's how you're going to stay on track and be able to hit your unapologetic revenue goal. That's it. Sounds simple. Probably sounds really boring, but this is literally the shit that you need to do in order to actually hit those goals. That's the thing. These are the things in business that matter, that make the difference. Doesn't come by guessing what you should do or just like hoping it'll happen. None of the manifesting from the sky. So, the last thing, what I'm going to leave you with, there's 3 questions I'm going to leave you with and have you consider. What is your unapologetic revenue goal for 2026? If you want to send it to me, I would love to hear it. I'd love to cheer you on. I want to know what it is, what you've come up with, so you can let me know. That's the first one. And go get the revenue planner so that you can put it in there, break everything down, and plan your way to get there. The second question is, can you get there right now with the way that your business is currently set up? Is it possible for you to reach your unapologetic revenue goal with the way that your business is currently set up? That's the second one. And when you are going through that, then you can kind of look at, okay, it's either going to be yes, and you're good, and you can just plan and do it, or you can look at, okay, what needs to be tweaked. And if you want to go through it together, I will also have the link to book a free strategy session in the show notes. So you can grab one of those and we can go through that together and I can have a look at exactly, the things that you could tweak and different things that you might be able to adjust in order to get there and hit it. The third question, how are you going to show up, both unapologetically and practically, so you can meet your goal? Both ways. So, the unapologetic energy, losing the conditioning, fuck that shit, going after what you want, and taking the practical action. So, download the planner, get that planned out, and going after what you want. Those are the 3. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it gave you a lot to think about. You can answer the questions, you can get the planner, and book a strategy session if you'd like to go through it together. So that's everything for today. Happy 2026 again. And as always, go after everything that you fucking want and be unapologetic about it.